Well, welcome to this latest video update with regards to the reopening of our church building. The leadership team of Oadby Baptist Church, with the support of the operations team, are now working towards a provisional reopening of the church building on Monday, the 14th of September. This will be almost 6 months to the day since the building was last open for use. And it has been a long journey to get to this point. The leadership team and the operations team have worked incredibly hard, working through demanding paperwork and engaging in some very difficult discussions in order to reach this point of agreeing a provisional reopening date. And I'm very grateful to all of them for all of their help and support. Of course, even with a provisional reopening date of Monday the 14th of September, this does not mean that every service, event and gathering will start back in full immediately. Rather, we are working on a phased reopening. This will include numerous trials as we test out new practices and procedures to ensure that we can maintain the safety of all those who do choose to enter the building. More information about specific services, events and gatherings and when they will be able to restart, if they choose to, will be made available shortly. But please know that any decisions we make are not to be deemed as one group receiving priority over another. Our phased reopening is to ensure that we have the best possible chance of getting things right so that we can continue on a path towards a full reopening, rather than having to stop the process, make significant changes, and therefore close the building again. One of the key factors for us in being able to safely reopen the building, though, will be the recruitment and appointment of designated COVID stewards. The primary responsibility of a COVID steward will be to ensure that the control measures that will be in place to keep everyone safe are adhered to by all attending the premises. I'll come on to those control measures shortly. COVID stewards will be tasked with completing pre-event and post-event checklists, which are designed to ensure that the building is safe for people to enter, and which will include strict cleaning measures to reduce the chance of transmission of COVID-19 between attendees and across events. This is by no means a small task, but it is an essential role if we are to reopen the building safely. Whilst we hope to recruit volunteers who are willing to be present in the building to support those groups that may wish to begin meeting again, we are also asking each group to consider whether they are able to provide a volunteer who can take on the role of COVID steward on any occasion that their own group may wish to meet. More information about COVID stewards can be found on the COVID steward role description document, which is to be read in conjunction with the pre-event and post-event checklists. Now, in terms of the control measures themselves, you will not be surprised to hear that we must adhere to a number of protocols in line with government guidance and, in some cases, mandatory law. When entering the premises for any service, event or gathering, you must be confident that you are not experiencing any symptoms of coronavirus, such as fever or high temperature, a new continuous cough, or a sudden loss of taste or smell. You must ensure that you are wearing a suitable face covering which will adequately cover your nose and mouth. You must sanitize your hands on the way into the building, and sanitizer will be provided for you to use. You must follow the one-way system that will be in operation and which will clearly be marked by floor signs. You must maintain a distance of 2 meters between you and anybody that is not part of your household, meaning you must not engage in any form of physical contact with those from another household. This means no handshaking and no hugging. This will also include whilst gathering outside in the queuing system waiting to enter the building. You must not sing or raise your voice above a natural talking level, even whilst wearing a face covering. You must not enter any area that is clearly marked out of bounds. You must give your requested details to the COVID steward on duty as we are required to keep a record of attendance for every service, event or gathering, which must be made available to NHS Test and Trace should a suspected or confirmed case be discovered as having been present on the premises. And you must follow the instructions of the COVID steward on duty at all times whilst on the premises. Further to these requirements, you may use the toilet facilities whilst in the building, but you must follow the instructions for cleaning down the bathroom after use. You may bring your own bottle of water, but you will not be able to fill it in our church kitchens, as they will be out of bounds. And you may bring your own Bible, pen and notebook if you wish to, but none of these will be available to you within the building, and they should not be shared with those from another household. You may, on occasion, also be required to book your space for a number of services, events or gatherings so as to ensure that we do not exceed our capacity limits. It will be made very clear which services, events and gatherings this will apply to and how to go about doing so. All of these requirements and expectations will apply to the church garden as well as the church buildings. Naturally, with all of these added restrictions, protocols and control measures, all services, events and gatherings in the church building will look and feel different. And we're going to be producing a video to help you prepare for re-entering the church building shortly. However, it's important to note that not everyone will be ready to return. And for some, the thought of doing so fills them with anxiety and fear. Rest assured, nobody is expected to return until they are ready to. And those who do not yet feel able to return will not be forgotten. We will be doing everything we can to ensure that nobody feels isolated as a result of any decision not to re-enter the building. And all group leaders are being advised to respect each person's decision and to work with each individual to ensure nobody is left out where possible. In terms of a timescale for reopening, I've already mentioned that we're aiming for a reopening on Monday the 14th of September. However, if we do feel able to go ahead on this date, which will be reviewed on Wednesday the 9th of September, this will only be the start of a phased process. And the reality is that any service, event or gathering that would ordinarily significantly exceed an attendance of 30 people will not be able to take place, as this is our current capacity with the restrictions and control measures that we must have in place. Therefore, it is highly unlikely that our main Sunday morning service will be able to take place in the building before next year, or at least until government guidelines are relaxed with regards to current social distancing measures. We will therefore be continuing to stream our services online, but we will be looking at ways, in partnership with the Encounter core ministry team, as to how we can continue to improve our online services so that as many people as possible can engage with and encounter God through them. We will also explore alternatives such as live streaming from or to the church building, as well as the possibility of house church models when social distancing measures allow. Some of you will be disappointed that we are unable to reopen sooner, or that we're unable to start up everything immediately when we do. Equally, some may be relieved that things won't be happening in the building that they want to attend, but do not yet feel able, whether safe or comfortable, to do so. Whatever your response and however you feel, let me encourage you to be gracious and understanding of those who may share a different view. And let me encourage you to pray for the practicalities that we as a leadership team, operations team, and as a whole church family have to navigate over the coming months. It hasn't been easy to get to this point, and it will be some time before using the church building feels natural and normal again, especially given the control measures that we have to have in place. But I am grateful for all of those who have helped us get to this point, and I look forward to having the opportunity to welcome each of you personally to a service, event or gathering taking place in the church building in the coming months. In the meantime, do consider whether you would feel able to offer your time to be a COVID steward to enable others to begin using the building again safely from mid-September. If you have any questions that are not answered by the various related documents, then please do get in touch to discuss them with me further. For now, please do continue to join us for our live online services. I look forward to welcoming you to one of them again soon.